Hello everybody and welcome to another wonderful edition of the Chessbait Drivecast. Your one-stop shop for kind of controversial topics and kind of controversial opinions. I tend to play the devil's advocate just to see what arguments for and against things can be. Now, today's topic. We don't really have a topic today. Oh my gosh, I thought there was someone behind me. Oh, I almost got scared out of my seat. No, today's topic, or not non-topic. Today I'm just gonna have more of a motivational speech. I don't know if you guys know the channel Chubby Emu, the EMEA guy, you know, the In Your Blood guy. And he makes some really cool stuff. He makes some really cool content. But before he started making medical videos, he started talking about his weight loss journey. Like genuine, like not the what's it called? Not the clickbaity way, but like his genuine week-to-week struggle of, hey, I'm gonna start drinking protein shakes this many times a week, and I have to make sure I do this much cardio and work out this much with my with his what's it called? Trainer, yes. But that's all in the past. Another thing that's in the past for him is his motivational videos, which more or less, it's kind of like what I'm doing. It's kind of they're basically vlogs telling you gotta set your you gotta set your expectations straight. You gotta make sure that you actually strive for what you're doing and don't half-heartedly do things that you are doing. Now, I don't really have that kind of a motivational voice because, let's be honest, my voice is a little dry. And by dry, I mean, man, it has really no personality. When I listen to myself speak, I think, man, what is that chubby dude's thinking? Chubby dudes. No, but seriously though, first of all, like I said before, I don't like the way my voice sounds, and whenever I listen to my, I used to not hate my voice all so much. After you've edited enough, edited your voice enough times, you kind of get used to what you're listening to. Sure, your voice from when you were like 7 or 8 is really cringy because it sounds up here and it sounds really annoying, and sure, that happens. You get annoyed by that, but then you just learn to ignore it and learn to move on from it because you don't need to watch those videos. All you really should be caring about is in the now, in the future. Now, gosh, that was such a terrible segue. Now, this is more a message to myself. I don't know why, but I had a message to myself that was meant for me at the end of the semester. Actually, it was supposed to be at the end of the semester in the spring, and for some reason, I never actually listened to it until like September. I didn't. I never listened to it until when was it? I think it was like November, October-ish, when I was genuinely struggling with a lot of the things I was doing, and for some reason, I have a feeling that the message had a bigger impact when I listened to it then than I did back in June. Like I don't know. For some reason, I'm such a big hypocrite because I'm the type of person who works way too hard on certain things, and then doesn't work hard enough at all on like some of the most important things. Like whenever I end up messing up on something, for some reason, if it's the most minuscule thing, I forgot what I was going to say. I just realized that I'm contradicting myself halfway through talking about contradicting myself, which is in itself contradictory. You guys ever say words over and over again and stops being a word? Stop. Well, maybe not with that, but contradictory. It's happened to me. Apparently, it's called jamais vu. If you there's a really good Vsauce video on it from like years back. Dude, what's Vsauce up to nowadays? I have really, you know what? Let's talk about edutainment. I don't like edutainment. It's fun, but it's not educational. Like you can't say that you're smart when you're just throwing out a bunch of numbers everywhere and doing the math for other people. That's not education. It really isn't. Like, I love game theory, like game theorists. I love Vsauce 3 and Vsauce 1 and the Ding channel, and I don't know. I love, gosh, why can't I remember his name? Eric Hill? No. Why am I forgetting his name? The dude that looks like Thor. I'm forgetting his name, and I feel so bad for it because I don't watch him that often. And Mark Rober, especially Mark Rober. I mean, everybody knows Mark Rober from the Glitter Bombs and meeting, not Bill Nye. I wonder if he has met Bill Nye. No, that's not the issue. Meeting with Bill Gates a bunch of times about humanitarian issues. The really cool NASA dude. And he's the first edutainment YouTuber that I'm gonna say second edutainment YouTuber that I genuinely respected because of the way that he's trying to teach things. The other person is actually Austin. I forget his last name, but it's the dude that does the science on the Game Theorist. He's basically Game Theorist Classic with so much more no, I was gonna say cocaine, that's not right. So much more caffeine. Like, seriously, the dude is a freaking maniac. I freaking love him, dude. He screams all the time, which is top priority for any mad scientist or just scientist in general. Oh gosh, that's a weird shadow. He applies the scientific method into all of his, I mean, not all of his calculations, but all of the experiments that he's trying to make. Like, if you're trying to prove that the Earth is flat, then you got to prove that it can't be literally anything else. If you want to prove that the Minecraft world is round, then you have to prove that if you want to try to make it flat in every way, it doesn't work out. Obviously, it could be a torus if you want it to be, but we're not here to talk about Minecraft being complex 3D objects. Come on, we're not Klein bottling this thing. But yeah, Austin, I respect him a lot more just because of the vibe that he brings. Mark Rober, he's the much more, chill type of dude. I mean, the guy had to work at NASA. He had to have some kind of composure, unless probe lands on Mars safely. Curiosity lands on Mars safely, and everyone cheers. Obviously, that's when everyone can go berserk. But man, one of my favorite videos of his is the what's it called? The squirrel. I'm forgetting what it's called. The squirrel. The one where he made an obstacle course for squirrels, because I wouldn't say it was scientific, but I don't know. I don't want to throw shade at him or anything. He's a genuinely great dude, because if you've seen his live streams where he tried to actually teach a science lesson, I wouldn't say he was the most engaging in the world. I mean, no offense, I have seen teachers do better before, but he still went through a step-by-step process, which help you genuinely learn why certain things are the way that they are. Like, I hate to bring this topic up, but the episode that he did about farts and whether they make you lighter, and he talked about buoyancy, he talked about density, and before all you flat earthers come at me about fluency. What was I saying? Buoyancy and density, and start talking about how that's how gravity works. That's a whole nother topic to talk about. What am I talking about? No, the point I wanted to make was that he makes sure that how do I explain this? He makes sure that each of the concepts that he's talking about is thorough and goes through each of the necessary steps. Like, obviously, you can talk about gravity, and that is the first step. You start with a simple solution, like any mathematics course. And then you start to talk about more complex cases, because if you can explain something simply, then you can use that simple example to make something more complex. Like, obviously everyone knows what y equals mx is, but what if we made it y equals mx squared, or y equals m over x squared, or something like that? If you use the simple case, then you understand how whatever science or math goes into it works, and then you broaden that to look at situations that are a little more complicated. And that's literally just how science well, as a whole works. I call math a science. I mean, that's just how it is. Oh my gosh, this person is almost tailgating me. This person better slow down. But my point is, the reason I don't like most edutainment channels is because they don't really go over the scientific method at all. Dude, what the my gosh, that dude is... He almost crashed into me. Whatever, I'm moving on. Most edutainment channels present an example, talk about how so smart that they are because they're talking about literal rocket science, but all they do is show a giant what's it called? All they do is show a giant formula, show how to plug a bunch of numbers in, and voila, you get an answer. Guess what? As an engineer, I know how that works. That's the definition of just lazy engineering. It's you take a formula and you plug a bunch of numbers in and you just magically get a number out. That's not science, dude. That's not how science works. Like, sure, formulas exist so that way we can calculate things simply, but I mean, there's a reason why Wario is 10 feet tall as a meme. Stuff like that. I don't know. I'm like, on one hand, I'm really happy that the game theorists went to more of like a literary standpoint where they're talking about lore and theorizing about what the I don't know, the horror aspect of a really simple video game is, or what the FNAF lore is like, you know, solving mysteries, because that is because math and science theories are way different than actually just literary theories, because it's kind of like how in literature a topic and a theme have specific meanings, but if you go to like any other context, it means something completely different or a little more generic, because literary teachers have to be so strict on everything. That's how math is with a bunch of, you know, theories and postulates and all that. As a person who's been in that area of life before, what am I talking about? But all I'm saying is, you can't just present a formula to kids, plug a bunch of numbers in, and just say, hey, Mario's punch would cause 642 pounds. Like this. Sure, Austin from The Science does it as well, but more or less he tries to convey the more scientific reasoning of why certain how do I say this? Certain formulas are the way they are, or what certain variables mean. You gotta go just a little more in depth. Like, I don't know. I feel like most edutainment channels just scratch the surface. Like, I love Vsauce 3, man. Their YouTube original stuff is amazing, but like it's great, but